So my name is Kate. I'm the co-founder of Kerbloom. So in a nutshell, Kerbloom is a remote recruitment and staffing company that's headquartered in the United States. But we are a completely remote team, meaning we all work from home, we're completely online,
Mhm.
and we also do our services online. So just a few of our services is appointment setting, customer support, virtual assistants, if you're familiar with that term. So really varied services that business owners, or sorry, that people can do at home.
Okay, that's wonderful. Can you please tell us what are the good things about outsourcing online jobs in the Philippines?
Yeah, so as you know, right, in the Philippines, we have a lot of call centers, and so that is already the edge when business owners outsource in the Philippines. Like Filipinos have interfaced with um, US businesses, UK businesses, Australian businesses, you name it, and we've interfaced with those international accounts. So it's really very easy for us to work with those clients. Like we are so used to working with international clients that there's no gap whenever we start working with them online. And communication is another as well, just because we're really good in English, so it just makes sense for international business owners to work with Filipinos and outsource here in the Philippines.
Mhm. Thank you. And as you mentioned that most of your clients or most of the clients are from US, Australia, and England. And how about could you give us some insights, for example, into how you see the potential for non-English clients, like for example, Switzerland or Germany?
Right. Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, right, like businesses always want to go global. And that being said, English is still the medium of communication to be used. And for those businesses, right, if they want to find um, even say an appointment setter or a sales professional that wants to touch or penetrate the US market, then they can outsource the Philippines because Filipinos are just so used to um, interfacing or penetrating the American market. So that's just an example that I can find or think of. Is usually that's what business owners want, especially when they're non-native or non-English businesses.
And so far, have you received any clients or any approaches from non-English countries?
Unfortunately, none at the moment. Maybe because we really just focus um our business or target in the American industry. But hopefully, yeah, in the next few years, hopefully we can expand.
Okay. Could you tell us any challenges or pitfalls that you have encountered with your
Yeah.
outsourcing company?
We've had several. So maybe I could start with like the tools. We started the business 4 years ago, and if you look at the climate of remote work, right, and outsourcing remotely, it's changed drastically. Like more businesses are now going remote, and so if you compare the amount of resources and tools that's available, right, or that businesses can use to do their business online, there are more tools right now compared to before. So that's one. So we really have to do a lot of research, drill or dig into the tools that we could use, right, to better monitor our people, be able to know if they're really productive or not. So that's a
Mhm.
trial and error for us. So that's one of the struggles. Luckily we're able to nail that down already. We're pretty much set on the tools that we're using. Second is on like my side, right, operations in the Philippines. I have to like make a name out of Kurboom, right, because when we started 4 years ago, we're like, what, like no one really believes in online business or online
Mhm.
jobs. They're like, no, that's a scam. And so that's one of the things that we have to resolve, making sure that, hey, no, like we're a legitimate company, we will definitely pay you out. And then on the client side, right, because again, remote or online outsourcing is something new. It's like a new term. um, we have to like explain to them that you know what, you have jobs at your company that you can outsource remotely or online, and that's like something that we have to like prove to them, right? Ensuring that our online team performs really well, if not better than their domestic or on-site team.
And okay, lastly, how is the demand so far with this current crisis? Is it good
Yeah, so
or?
that's a really great question. Some businesses are thriving, some aren't, and like it's unfortunate, right, that we lost some of our client partners, but at the same time, we're also gaining more from some client partners who are lucky enough, right, to that this pandemic is impacting them positive. So for now, the impact isn't that great, but we're bracing ourselves, right, for potential losses of clients, especially like on the next month or so.
And yeah, that's it, Miss Kate. Thank you so much.
All right.
Hey, so this is Ben Camilo Rayos, one of the founders for Virtual Outsourcing Solutions. I've been an online freelancer as well since 2011 and was part of the BPO industry before that. So I was asked what are the good things about outsourcing in the Philippines. I think number one, what companies are most concerned about and will be most beneficial for most companies would be less operational costs. They don't have to companies don't have to concern themselves regarding additional costs associated with hiring someone on shore. Very basic would be, for example, if a company wants to scale up and scale quickly, they would have to actually have space in their office to be able to accommodate new team members. And that's like the very basic of things. There are a lot of other administrative costs that they can save on. Second, I would say that Filipinos adapt really well with different cultures because we are a mix of different cultures. We have a little bit of Spanish, Japanese, Chinese, and American in us, and we're very westernized because the movies, the shows, even sometimes the news that we consume are all from other countries. Well, not all, but a major chunk of it are from other companies. So when I'm talking to someone, I'm on a sales call, I'm talking to someone, and I get what their pop culture reference or whatever they're talking about because I consume the same materials. So yeah, it's a little bit easier for us to do that. Third would be I do believe, even though that sounds like a Miss Universe opening, but I do believe that Filipinos have world class talent, and we don't have to cross borders to show that. One, we're very flexible when it comes to work hours. If our client is from the U.S., we work graveyard. If they're from Australia, then we work a few hours before that. Second would be our English proficiency. There are people from other countries that actually go here and study English here. There are also other people that actually hire Filipino tutors just to learn English. So I think those are testaments on how proficient in English Filipinos are. On our side, like the employee side or the Filipino side, it's also the good thing about our sourcing is it has provided a lot of job opportunities for Filipinos. On career growth, I think I grew more when I was doing online freelancing or when I was a source, as compared to when I was working corporate. Only because I was able to dabble into other skills, and have more time for myself to dabble on those other skills and other passions. And so I was able to kind of, I would say, round off my skill set because of outsourcing. As far as challenges and pitfalls go, number one, and the technical aspect of it would be our internet speed. I mean, it's better, a lot better compared to when I started. But I mean, because when I started, I think we only had like 2 Mbps, but now it's 25, 50, up to 50. But still, it's the connectivity. It's not as consistent. So we have a lot of things to work on when it comes to our internet connection. Second would be stereotypes. this has happened to me a couple of times already when some people would think that since I'm outsourced or the team is outsourced or it's an offshore team that they're not going to get the same quality of service. It has happened when where people are asking to be transferred to, for example, an American agent or someone in the headquarters. Um, and sometimes, belittled because we're also sometimes belittled because we're an offshore team. I did also have an experience where I needed to change my name to sound more American, just to kind of avoid that situation altogether. And that's not good because I mean we can give the same quality of service. I've just been lucky because most of the clients that we have, and when that happened to me, they've had my back on it and defended me. So been very lucky in that aspect, but it's one of the challenges being a stereotype. Lastly, challenge. I would think as Filipinos, sometimes we're too local in our thinking when really when we're outsourced, we're actually competing in a global scale. And sometimes that happens when sometimes people sell themselves short when it comes to the salary, trying to salary. I understand if you would accept a salary much less if you're a beginner in that skill, or you just want to learn the ropes, but you can't stay there. Yeah, you just can't stay there. You have so Filipinos have to think bigger. We are competing in a much larger scale when we're outsourced, and I think once we do that, what how we give our service is going to be a lot more different than just going through day to day. So yeah, I think I hope I gave a lot of good points. So yeah, let me know if you need anything else.